Hi, everybody. My name is Leo. Welcome back to 4AR People. And as you know, the Arkansas Legislature is in session. And so I wanted to use this video to talk a little bit about some of the very, very bad bills that we have seen go through committees, go on the House floor, go on the Senate floor, things like that. No bill is complete yet, but we want to talk about specifically two bills that are very, very bad. So let's get into that. All right, so I want to start with SB 3, Senate Bill 3, which is the sponsor of that is Senator Dan Sullivan. And I say this is an anti-affirmative action bill, and I mean it. All right, so let's talk about it. All right, so SB 3 is the bill to prohibit discrimination or preferential treatment by the state of Arkansas and other public entities. So it is an anti-affirmative action bill that would repeal higher education minority retention programs, minority teacher and administrator recruitment and retention plans, Arkansas Department of Education Equity Compliance Report, and affirmative action reports. And it completely removes any agency or state department requirement to have an equal employment hiring program. So when Senator Sullivan was talking about this bill on the Senate floor after it passed the Senate Government and State Agencies Committee, there were a lot of people to testify against this bill for a good reason. Obviously, it's a bad bill. But I do want to note that a majority of the people to testify against this bill was the black senators. Most if not all of the black senators testified against this. And I do want to say that a lot of them were talking about how they've either benefited or saw benefits from these minority-based scholarship programs or these minority-based programs at colleges and like public colleges in Arkansas. And which those minority-based scholarships under this bill would not be allowed. Also, when Senator Sullivan was replying to these comments and things like this from Senator Scott, from Senator Love, when he was replying to these, he was saying that those scholarships wouldn't go away. They would just apply to more people. So there wouldn't be preferential treatment for specific groups. It would apply to more people. Those more people being white people, I can only assume. White men, I can only assume. And so that's something to think about. So I'm recording this on Wednesday. This bill made it through the House State and Government Agencies Committee as well. And a lot of members from the community showed up to speak against this. And obviously, affirmative action has been a really big topic, especially since President Trump put out the anti-DEI executive order. So it's been a big topic. All right, so let's talk a little bit about affirmative action. So affirmative action is not this preferential treatment that you speak of. Like, is the preferential treatment in the room with us? Also, another thing I want to note, when this was in the Senate State and Government Agencies Committee, Senator Clark, actually, who is a Republican, spoke against this bill for a specific reason. He says he says something along the lines of black male students. Arkansas is failing black male students. Black male students are not being educated to the level that we want them to. And he says that a way to combat this is to employ black male teachers, because it has been shown that black male students do better in a classroom with black male teachers. And that makes complete sense to me. Representation is important, especially when we're trying to reach out to specific communities and bring them into the fold. It's very important that representation is a factor in that. So, on top of that, in the House Governmental and State Agencies Committee, Representative Nicole Clowney brought up a job for maybe a Marshallese liaison, and how that role would be suited for someone from the Marshallese community, because not only is it a language thing, but it's also like a cultural thing. There are cultural differences between communities, and Representative Innit also spoke a little bit on the differences of experience as it relates to different communities, right? And that is something that is important and we need to be thinking about. Like I said, this is a bad bill. It is not good for Arkansas. And the whole thing of like it being based on merit and need, it's like affirmative action doesn't hand out opportunities. It opens them up. It opens opportunity. And a lot of the Democratic representatives who spoke out against this bill kind of said the same thing. It's like, it's not about preferential treatment. It is about opportunity and the importance to give opportunity to every Arkansan who hasn't had it in the past, especially historically marginalized communities and historically disenfranchised communities like Black people, Hispanic people, women, like people like that. That's what affirmative action is. That's what it does. And that's what it's for. And so this is a very bad bill, and I encourage you to, I believe next we're going to hear it on the House floor. I don't know exactly when, but I encourage you to either call your representatives and urge them to vote against this, talk with your community members, push back, because this is not good for Arkansas. It limits opportunity in the state of Arkansas, and it doesn't undermine merit at all. It actually increases the workforce, and it actually gives opportunities to those who may have not been given a chance to show their merit before. And I think that's the real goal of affirmative action. So I'm not a fan of this. Clearly, I've spoken a lot on this. So yeah, call your representatives, urge them to vote against this, and push back, because this hurts Arkansans everywhere. So, all right, moving on. All right, now I want to talk about House Bill 1180, presented by or filed by Representative Mary Bentley. And this is a bad bill, and I'm going to tell you why. So House Bill 1180 would create the Baby Olivia Act. And what that would do is require public schools to show fifth grade students a video called Meet Baby Olivia. And this video was developed by a pro-life anti-abortion group called Live Action. And it talks about like the process of fertilization and the stage of human development. Now, I'm not going to give a platform to this video. So I'm not going to show, normally I would show like a clip or two. I'm not going to show a clip to this video. I don't think anyone should see this video, let alone fifth graders. And we're going to talk about that. So sorry, you'll have to like go find the video on your own. I'm not showing that video in this video, because it is just, it's medically inaccurate. It pushes an agenda, which I don't want to get too much into it because I'm about to explain the whole thing now, but I'm not doing that. So sorry. All right. So like I said, this video is an anti-choice propaganda video. So it depicts phases of a fetus. So it depicts this fetus going through all the phases through the first week to the very end of the pregnancy and like viability and stuff. And so the reason I say it's an anti-choice propaganda video is because it is medically inaccurate. It is aimed to trigger an emotional response. And it is not, it weaponizes our education system to push this agenda, that this fetus is, I don't even know. I don't know. But also let's talk about the fact that they're showing it to fifth graders. So imagine you're a fifth grader being educated in Arkansas public schools, which, mind you, I once was, okay? I once was a fifth grader educated in Arkansas public schools. So I can speak to this. Imagine you're a fifth grader in Arkansas public schools and you watch this video. Mind you, Arkansas has no comprehensive sex education, nothing like that. So you're a fifth grader knowing nothing about contraception or anything. You're watching this video. Would your first response not be, well, how does that get there? Or how do I stop that from getting there? You know what I mean? Or like even like, ew, or like something like that. Like it doesn't talk about contraception. There's no plan to talk about contraception. In fact, when this was in committee, they talked a lot about how it doesn't mention sex and it doesn't mention contraception and it doesn't mention anything about like anything like that. And I just think this is so dangerous. And I really wish maybe people would have pushed harder on the fact that it doesn't talk about those things, because it seems backwards. It seems like we're skipping a step in the process. So, and also, mind you, Arkansas has a very high rate of teenage pregnancy and things like that. And if the goal is to like prevent abortions or whatever, wouldn't you think that they would like teach you how to prevent like unwanted pregnancies or things like that? Seems like we're skipping a step in the process here, and I don't understand it. But like I said, this video is very one-sided of the conversation. It's not talking about like options that you may have when you have a fetus or things like that. It's just very one-sided, intended to push an agenda on children, which is so weird coming from the party of indoctrination and libraries. Like, it just seems very, very strange. Also, it's like, this has nothing to help Arkansas. Arkansas still has, and I will say this in every video if I have to, Arkansas still has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the country. In this here United States, one of the highest maternal mortality rates. How is this protecting mothers? How is this protecting Arkansan pregnant people? It's not. And it doesn't do that. And I don't know. There's also just like a side debate of like, should fifth graders be ingesting this content at such a young age? That's also another thing. I don't have too much to say on that, but something to think about. It's a bad bill. I encourage you to call your representatives and tell them to vote no on this bill, because it is a bad bill and it makes no sense for the state of Arkansas. So let's move on. All right, so I know I wanted to focus this video on those two bills specifically, but I do have some honorable mentions that I want to talk about. So there is House Bill 1222, which I believe has not been heard in committee just yet. But this is an act to amend the law concerning initiative petitions and referendum petitions to require the Attorney General to review ballot titles for conflicts with the United States Constitution and federal statutes, to ban submission of multiple initiative petitions and referendum petitions, and for other purposes. So I want to talk a little bit about this, just that middle part specifically, to require the Attorney General to review ballot titles for conflicts with the United States Constitution and federal statutes. Now, let's talk about our government for a second. Just like a quick civics review. Our government works the way it works because we have this little thing called separation of powers and checks and balances. So we have three branches of government. They all do different things. And the reason we designate different powers to different branches of government is so that one branch of government doesn't become too powerful. That's important. So the Attorney General is part of the Arkansas executive branch of government. He is not a part of the judicial branch. He is not a part of the legislative branch, meaning he does not make laws and he does not interpret them. That is very important. The judicial branch is in charge of interpreting laws. So to require the Attorney General to review ballot titles in conflict with the United States Constitution, that is literally not his job. That would be the job of the Arkansas Supreme Court. The Attorney General does not get to decide what conflicts with the Constitution. It does not get to interpret what conflicts with the Constitution or any federal statutes. That being said, this does specifically target like the medical marijuana initiatives, for instance, because medical marijuana is federally illegal. I believe it's federally, not medical marijuana, but just like marijuana is federally illegal. And so that would conflict with a federal statute, meaning someone could not run a marijuana initiative in the state of Arkansas. And that is messed up, guys. I don't love that. So HB 1222 is a bad bill because it would give the Arkansas Attorney General massive increase of power with citizen-led constitutional petitions, which is wrong, and we should stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that's next move. Like I said, I don't know if it's been heard in committee yet. Probably by the time I am making this video, it has been. So stay on the lookout for that. And we're going to move on. All right. One other honorable mention I want to talk about is a bill that has environmental concerns associated with it. So it's Senate Bill 84. And Senate Bill 84 is an act to prohibit a moratorium on the issuance of permits in watersheds and other bodies of water and for other purposes. So Senate Bill 84 would prevent state agencies from placing moratoriums on permits for farming in any watershed or body of water, including the Buffalo River. And that's important because hog farming, for instance, has been shown to be environmentally harmful as it relates to quality of water due to like fecal waste and stuff like that in the Arkansas bodies of water. The bill is targeting proposed rules from the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Energy and Environment that would create a permanent moratorium on hog farming in the Buffalo. So this is a bad bill for environmental concerns, protect Arkansas bodies of water, protect the Buffalo River. Stay on the lookout for that. And that is all I have to say on that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Those buttons are there somewhere. Don't forget to follow our legislative session coverage because we are still in session and we've got it everywhere. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are on Blue Sky. We are on YouTube. All right, so subscribe to watch more of our videos and check those out. And call your representatives. Call your representatives. These are bad bills. Boo, boo, tomato, tomato, boo, bad bills. Call your representatives and urge them to vote no on SB 3, HB 1180, eventually SB 84, eventually HB 1222, just bad bills all around. Check out the links in our description below for all of our legislative session coverage and also resources to do that. So thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.